world changers, and truth seekers. You've tuned into the Making Noise Show. In a world full of shadows and whispers, we believe it's time to turn up the volume. It's time to speak truth to power, to shine a light into the darkest corners, and to send a signal of hope that pulses across the globe. This isn't just a show, it's a movement. A call to action for everyone who believes in the power of the gospel to transform lives and communities. We're here to challenge the status quo, to inspire courage, and to amplify the voices that need to be heard. So, get ready to make some noise with us. If you're ready to be part of something bigger, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a moment. Let's start the show.
Welcome to the Making Noise Show, where truth meets power, with a touch of real talk, with Diego Gomez, your guide through the noise. Let's dive in and make some waves.
Today, we're going to talk about the bookends of the Making Noise show. The two men that are, if I may, the bookends, the pillars to our theological existence, if I could use that phrase. Amen. Because we like to take the biblical narrative and the cultural political scene and try to gel them together to create some sense of logic, some sense of direction. Amen. And so we have two men, two eras, two callings, but one mission. One is a prophet in camel hair shouting in the wilderness, and a congressman in a suit shouting on the steps of the Capitol of the United States of America. And we're talking about John the Baptist and John Lewis. Amen. Two Johns, two voices, two examples of what it means to make noise for truth. Can I get an amen? And today, we bring their message back to the forefront because the world needs noise again. Can I get an amen? The world needs noise again. Holy noise, righteous noise, necessary noise. Amen. This is the Making Noise Show, and let's talk about the two Johns. Amen. And so here, finally, family, welcome back. Today's episode is not just a message, it's a reminder. It's a recalibration, a return to our mission. Last year, we declared our purpose to make noise like John the Baptist and to get into good trouble like John Lewis. But missions fade if they're not revisited. Amen. Let me repeat that. Missions fade if they're not revisited. Fires cool if it's not stirred, and purpose weakens if it is not reinforced. Amen. And so today we revisit the two Johns, the bookends of this show's identity. Amen. And so when we look at John the Baptist, the original noise maker, okay, before Jesus stepped onto the scene, God sent a voice. Yes, he did. He sent a voice, not a politician, not a priest, not a celebrity, a voice. John the Baptist, he didn't whisper, he didn't negotiate, he didn't soften the message. What did he do? He cried out. Amen. He cried out saying, "Prepare the way of the Lord." That was his message. Amen. He confronted kings, religious leaders, systems, sin, and corruption. Amen. He wasn't afraid of backlash. He wasn't afraid of prison. He wasn't afraid of death. Needless to say, there aren't a lot of people like that today. They are all gripped with all types of fear. In fact, a lot of them just fear one person. Amen? And it ain't a divine individual. John the Baptist made noise because truth demands volume. He is the first bookend of our mission. Amen? And so we started with the biblical side of our story, of the Make a Noise show. And the energy that flows through our veins, the power behind our messages. And so now we will go to John Lewis, the modern prophet of good trouble. Amen. So fast forward 2,000 years later, another John rises, not in the wilderness, but in the streets of the American South. That's right. John Lewis, civil rights icon, freedom rider, congressman, moral compass. Amen? And he said something that became a generational command. Okay? Write this one down in the event you haven't heard it before. And it is get in good trouble, necessary trouble. He stood against racism, injustice, inequality, silence, and fear. Amen. He marched, he bled, he spoke, he fought, he refused to be quiet. John Lewis made noise because silence is agreement with injustice. He is the second bookend of our mission. And so what the two Johns have in common? Okay, different centuries, different battles, but same spirit. Amen? Same spirit. Both Johns confronted power. They challenged systems. They refused silence. They embraced sacrifice. They spoke truth. They lived courageously, disrupted comfort, awakened people, and they paid a price. Amen. Oh, that they did. Both Johns understood truth without volume becomes invisible. Justice without noise becomes ignored. And faith without boldness becomes irrelevant. And so why this message matters now? We live in a time where truth is twisted, lies are loud, fear is weaponized, faith is mocked, culture is confused, and people are silent. Silent. Yeah? And this is not the time to whisper. This is not the time to retreat. This is not the time to blend in. Amen. This is the time to, say it with me, make noise. Okay? Now, noise for truth, noise for justice, noise for the gospel, noise for righteousness, noise for the next generation. The two Johns remind us that silence is not an option. Compromise is not an option. Fear is not an option. Amen. The Making Noise Show mission statement is reinstated. Let's reinstate it, or let's restate it. Let's reclaim it. Let's recommit to it. The Making Noise Show mission statement is: we exist to speak truth to power, to challenge systems of deception, to confront cultural lies, to awaken the sleeping, to empower the broken, to uplift the righteous, and to spread the gospel everywhere, boldly, loudly, and unapologetically. Amen? All right? We are here to make holy noise. We are here to stir necessary trouble. We are here to prepare the way for truth. We are the descendants of the two Johns. Amen? Family, this is not entertainment. This is assignment. John the Baptist prepared the way for Christ. John Lewis prepared the way for justice. And now we prepare the way for truth in our generation. So today I call you back to the mission. Make noise, speak truth, stand firm. God is still at the head. Get in good trouble, necessary trouble. Spread the gospel everywhere. This is the Making Noise Show. And today, again, as usual, and today, we didn't just make noise. We honored the voices who taught us how. Amen? That's what we did. And so, join me every week, every Sunday. We will ask the questions. We look for the answers. And we will continue to make noise. Can I get an amen?